Welcome to Chicago.
SportsTownChicago.com. O'Hare. Broadcasting live from Sportstown, Chicago. Broadcast home for your Windy City Bulls and Chicago Dogs. We're in a league of our own. Now, here's your SportsTownChicago.com update.
At 8:43 p.m., I'm Lee Sanders with your Sportstown Chicago update, powered by the Illinois Media School. If interested in a career in media, go to beonair.com. NBA Live. The 76ers are battling the Bucks in Milwaukee. Milwaukee is winning 77-71. Kyle Kuzma is leading the way with 17 points, and Tyrese Maxey leads the way with 31 points and 5 assists. Magic beat the Clippers 129-101. James Harden picks up 31 points, 8 assists, and 5 rebounds, while Jalen Suggs led the way for Orlando with 23 points, 7 assists, and 3 rebounds. Spurs are beating the Hawks 88-81 in San Antonio in the third quarter. Keldon Johnson's leading the way for the Spurs with 26 points, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker has 24, with Cam Johnson 21 points. For Thursday Night Football, Bills headed out to Houston to battle the Texans. They lead 16-13 in the second quarter. Josh Allen is 11-14 with 88 yards with 1 reception to James Cook. D. Mills is leading the Texans 10-for-19 on attempts and 114 yards with 1 touchdown. Around the NCAA's way, 11th seed Alabama defeats AC Illinois 90-86. The Barons alone led the way for Alabama with 24 points on 50% shooting with 5 dimes to go along. Leading the way for Illinois was one Andres Stojakovic, putting up 26 points on 11-16 shooting, and one Tyler Boswell with 22 points, 7 assists, and 4 rebounds. I'm Lee Sanders, and this was your SportsDownChicago.com update, powered by the Illinois Media School. If interested in a career in media, go to beonair.com.
And you will respect my authority.
And now, it's time for the Matt and Lee Sports Talk Show.
What's going on, folks? Welcome into another edition of the DonLee Sports Talk Show. We're back with Adam again talking college football in our first segment. Then we're going to be heading on over to Derik Queen as well as the Bulls. Get hard. Yeah, and you know it. Go ahead. No, I was wondering about. Yeah. Audio all good? Can you hear me okay or no? I can't hear you very well right now, and I'm not seeing anything wrong with your audio. Yeah, let's take a peek. Definitely. But we also got Adam here. You forgot to cue in Adam as well.
Yeah, no, Adam.
Slim
yeah,
Schnader.
My bad.
Waiting to get your mic right.
I was just making sure that we had.
I'm kidding. Gotta make sure you get your mic right.
We got college football here with Adam. We got Pelicans, and in case you missed it, we got Pelicans in our second segment talking about Derik Queen, Zion Williamson, and then we're going to be wrapping up with the Bulls and their cardiac-inducing wins. Boys, welcome into the show. Where can everybody find you on social media here?
Yeah, my name's Adam Schneider. You can find me on Instagram at slim_Schnady. That is SHNADY, slim_Schnady.
Good money.
Good money.
And as always, it is Lee. You can find me at BROGEODI. All handles. There's a hashtag before it on TikTok.
Fantastic, fellas. And for me, it's Matt _D14 on Twitter. So let's get going here with our first segment. We all good?
Yes.
Fantastic. Love to see it. Love to see that we got our sound working here. Fantastic. So the first thing that we're going to be talking about today, college football playoff rankings are out. And Adam,
Yeah.
your alma mater, they're not really liking them this week. What's going on with that?
I don't want to talk about it.
I figured you might say that.
No, we didn't play up to the way DeBoer has. We won 4 straight ranked matches. Obviously, you get some fatigue in that, which doesn't exactly help. But Ty Simpson also throwing a couple of those interceptions doesn't also help. But, it's just like layer upon layer that just it doesn't help. But overall, the team did not put in the extra effort to try to at least get a game-winning field goal 24-23. At the end of the day, I look at this as just like keep your chin up, we have a chance. We're number 10 in the CFP rankings. So at this point, we just got to, move on, take this as a learning lesson, and, beat the crap out of Eastern Illinois and, beat Auburn at night.
Yeah. Oh, that night game with Auburn. If I do remember correctly, the last time there was a night game at Auburn.
I don't want to talk about
Yeah, he doesn't want to talk about that one either. That's okay. Kick six.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, living in infamy.
About it either. Completing all 17 passes in a row. You know what I mean? First, getting those 3 touchdowns. You would think, you don't want to see this get scrubbed off. You want this to go down in history.
Hey man, the corner over there's waiting for me to cry in.
Yeah, and we'll send you there if necessary. But if he starts crying on the show, everybody, we will just send him to the crying corner.
There's no Kleenex in here. So
you're right. Just gotta use your shirt or something to wipe those tears away. But 8-2 Alabama, and with the extended playoff, 2 losses is not killer for anybody. I mean, look at Ohio State; they had 2 losses last year. They go on to win it all.
Absolutely.
And a team, honestly, it opens the door for more teams to get in. And I think with the 12-team college football playoff, it's really helpful for teams, and it gives them a little leniency, right? You can lose a few games, but if you're the team that's going to win it, as long as you're in, you're going to win it, I think.
I kind of like that difference between the 4-team playoffs and the 12-team playoffs. The 4-team, you could not make any mistakes. You could lose one game to like a really good ranked opponent.
Maybe.
Exactly. Yeah. But that could be an exception depending on where you are in the standings.
Or you could go 13-0 like Florida State and not make the playoffs because your quarterback got hurt.
I mean, hey, that one loss. I remember that year. Yeah. But, and you said it perfectly. The 12-team playoffs, there's some leniency, but that third loss is you're out pretty much.
Yeah.
But with Alabama losing to Oklahoma, that was a stinger. I mean, lost to number 11 when we were 4. We dropped down to 10, and they moved up to 8.
Yeah. I mean, you move up, and that's the thing that's kind of confusing me here is you move Oklahoma up 3, you drop Alabama 6, and now all of a sudden it seems like the committee is talking about how the Florida State loss all of a sudden is way more important than it's ever been. And we actually got a good audio here of ESPN analyst Roddy Jones kind of breaking down a little bit of the confusion that a lot of people are feeling about why it is that Alabama is being so severely punished for a 2-point loss to the number 8 team in the country.
To me, though, is how far Alabama dropped. I mean, this was the number 4 team in the country last week. They dropped to 10 after a 2-point loss to Oklahoma at home in a game they outgained Oklahoma by almost 200 yards. That game against Oklahoma, it looks like a statistical anomaly that Alabama would have lost that game. They did. You can't take that away from them. But for them to drop 6 spots after losing to a ranked team, I understand Oklahoma had to be higher than them, but Notre Dame being between them was a little confusing for me.
Adam, what do you think about that? Do you think he's making some solid points with that?
I mean, there was, in terms of looking at the CFP rankings as it stands now, we did lose to the former 11 seed, now 8. I mean, that's basically you're almost out. So statistically, as he said, we should have won the game. All in all, didn't look good the way we lost with Ty Simpson as the the quote unquote Heisman front runner, or not front runner, but one in the running. And it showed, the 2 interceptions, he's kind of come back down to earth a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that, again, there's nothing wrong with making mistakes here, and especially to good teams. It's something that happens. And I think as time goes on, I'm not saying that college football will be completely NFLized in the sense that, you can lose 4 games and have a truly incredible season. Mm-hmm. I don't think it'll ever get to that point. They're never going to play that many games to begin with. But at the same time, I think a lot of people that react to the rankings are still very much in the mindset of a 14 playoff. Yeah. And they're hypercritical of every little thing. Like you had to be, like you mentioned, Adam, like you had to be in the 14 playoff. Yeah. Everybody's so hypercritical, looking for every little thing. Well, he threw an interception here. Well, they didn't really. Indiana didn't look really good against Penn State. Like, come on. Like, there's 12 teams. they're not going to be perfect. They're, college kids.
Yeah.
And I think the nitpicking is kind of where we get to a lot of, at the end of the day, I think it'll get sorted out. But at the same time, I think a lot of people in the college football world need to reevaluate how it is that they're looking at these teams.
Oh, absolutely. And, and I think it was, and I as a Bama fan, sorry, Bama, but I hate to say this, but I don't think we should have made the playoffs that year. When the last year of the 14 playoffs, when Florida got, bumped out only because a quarterback got eliminated. They had an undefeated season. We lost one game, though it was to a ranked opponent. It's hard to say. I mean, the CFP committee had to make a really, really tough choice that year.
Oh, yeah.
They chose us. We lost to Michigan ultimately, and Michigan went on to win the national title. I mean, yes, we put up a fight. Yes, we ran it with Milroe, and I was just as disappointed as everyone else in that in that team. But at the end of the day, I guess we won't really know what Florida would have put on the table if they were to have made the playoffs. Maybe, just maybe, they could have maybe even had a better team than we did in that run, maybe.
Yeah, I think you make a really good point there in the fact that, who can say truly until the picture is entirely played out, right?
Yeah.
When you've got these teams that you're saying, well, they were good then. Well, not anymore now. Well, actually, what could have been? And, there's a lot of hypotheticals that go into things. And, that's the shame about these midseason polls is you're only able to evaluate based on what you got. Next week is an entirely new data set. You're only able to evaluate based off of that.
Resets every week.
Exactly. And one thing that I wanted to bring up before because I know we didn't mention it on our last show that I really wanted to bring up the Group of 5 team. We're gonna talk about that in a second here, but yeah, one thing that I had a question about here, and I brought this up a while ago. I think this ACC conference might be the worst ACC conference in 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they got Miami ranked, I believe. Let me just fact check that real quick. Yes, Miami is the highest ranked team with 2 losses in the ACC, and they don't even control their own destiny in terms of getting to the ACC championship game.
No, and I mean, I think for, when you're watching college football, I don't think anyone expected this. And I know we've talked about in the past that, Georgia Tech and Virginia would be your 2 top teams because for years they were kind of at the bottom of the league or, the ACC. This has been kind of an upside down, like the garbage bin has just been emptied. It's been flipped back over, and now you got Georgia Tech, Virginia leading the way, and you got Miami in the middle of the pack, and Clemson, UNC, and Florida State kind of towards the bottom. It's just so bizarre. I don't know. You juggle it up.
Luck of the raffle or something, huh?
That's what I'm saying.
It just switches up. It just depends on whose city's got the most energy in it this year.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just interesting because Clemson is going to make a bowl game. They're going to go against Furman.
Is that guaranteed? Is that guaranteed that they're going to win 6 games?
Oh my god! If they lose to Furman, I'm done with the ACC.
Oh, they're sitting at 5 right now, right?
Yeah, if they beat Furman, they'll be 6-6 probably.
Well, crazier things have happened to Clemson this year alone. So
then Dabo not being fired.
Yeah, we'll see come the end of the year.
Oh my god! I mean, look, I'll just say a little quick nugget about Dabo. He's stuck in kind of like the old days of what NCAA used to be. He's not really adjusting to getting players in the transfer portal. He likes to recruit kind of the old-fashioned way, going throughout the state, kind of throughout the Eastern Seaboard a little bit to see who he can get, and most importantly, the NIL money. Because think about it. NIL nowadays, especially in college sports, will get you that top player. 5-star, maybe 5+ star, one of those rare breeds or Bratch. And then, the 4 stars, hit or miss. But either way, I mean, you look at how it is now. And it has ruined college football, but that's a whole different story.
I don't know if it's ruined college football. I mean, players were getting paid already, and
True.
now it's just legal. Now it's just not against the rules.
But I mean, okay. I hate to really, I know you're a Ohio State fan, but I mean, look, you took Julian Sandman.
Saban retired. That's your coach's problem. Saban retired.
Okay.
If Saban doesn't retire, then Julian Sains is the starting quarterback at Alabama, and Caleb Downs is playing safety. But Saban decided to retire right then and there because he didn't want to play in the NIL world. No. And now all of a sudden, boom, Ohio State's got a mini mega team over these next couple of years.
That's true. But in terms of like Group of 5, I mean, and I'm going to mention them a little bit since I know you said you want to talk about kind of the rankings here. The group of 5 does not really stand much of a chance in terms of the NIL, more or less, because if you were a 5-star player, just for example, would you want to play for like Alabama or Penn State versus like a Marshall or a Tulane?
True, but here's the thing with the NIL conversation is a lot of people that are saying, NIL is kind of ruining the sport. A lot of people are saying, well, now allegiance goes to the NIL and not to the school.
That's true.
So if you're going to use that line of logic, then you also have to acknowledge that schools don't matter if the check matters more.
Unfortunately, to an extent, that is true because football in college makes you the most money.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the SEC and the Big Ten.
If you're a 5-star kid, though, and you're going to where is offering you the most money, the way that they do those rankings is a projection of what they will look like at the next level in a way.
Oh, absolutely.
And so, you look at these guys who will go. I mean, just look at Travis Hunter when he committed to Jackson State, right? I mean, if he would have stayed at Jackson State, he still probably would have been a top 5 pick, right? I don't think that it necessarily matters. The only thing that I can think is a tangible deficiency to choosing a smaller school to a big school is like what kind of resources they have. Yeah, what's their weight room look like? What kind of opportunities can they give you? I think that matters, and I think that's probably the only thing that matters anymore in terms of why kids are going to go to a big school versus one of the smaller group of 5. But I think as revenue sharing grows and these schools get more money, because the money's only going up in college football. I think that those facilities are going to catch up to par, and then eventually you see some of these smaller schools like BYU and Cincinnati and UCF, and they're all joining the Big 12. I think if you're good enough, you can get brought into some of these, and we might see mega conferences, like mega conferences at some point. But I think eventually that money will kind of not equalate. What's a good word? Like reach equilibrium. With the equalize. Yeah.
I mean,
it all works out. Yeah.
NIL is just you're playing with fire to an extent. I mean, if you look at the way some teams abuse it, I mean, you can just tell. Again, I'm not saying every team does. Some people use it wisely, but also the things that maybe some institutions might not consider is the other sports.
No doubt.
Because I mean, football's your biggest one, so that's what matters the most, right?
It's going to bring you the most money all the time.
Exactly, and I'm guessing the NCAA president Charlie Baker probably thinks this through, and then you got NCAA basketball, and you got some of your powerhouses as you mentioned on the update, Alabama and Illinois, you got your top 12 teams, right? Top 12 matchup right there, and I mean that'll be your second, and then it's kind of like everyone else. Like, also some players gotta. Not players. Some people need to consider also that there are non-football schools, like you got Gonzaga, St. Mary's, St. John's, Marquette. The list goes on and on. So their NIL more or less goes to the basketball. So as much revenue as it comes in for certain sports, they will definitely not get as much as the football. I mean, I know that's a little obvious there, but at the same time, it's also those smaller schools with the better basketball teams, too, that you got to look at as well as a second sport. Yeah,
and I think something that needs to be kept in mind with NIL that I think a lot of people are surprised about the rise of Indiana. Mm-hmm. But one thing to keep in mind is that there are a lot of very successful graduates from IU. That's true. I think sometimes even more than revenue sharing, what goes into these NIL share pools for these schools is donations. That's true. People who care about sports that went on to become very successful in their personal lives, want to see that their alma mater is doing well athletically, they're going to be sending money back. And, so you could have some really random teams. Like, I don't think there's any surprise that schools like Indiana and Vanderbilt are now getting better because, they're getting some of that money back as well.
Those checks are, kind of, but I mean, I 100% agree. Because I mean, sometimes part of the reason why NIL does so well with certain schools, the alumni base. The alumni base is really big key as to where the money goes for sports. I mean, I'll give you an example. Mike Elko re-signed for 6 years with Texas A&M. I mean, Texas A&M has one of the biggest alumni bases in the country. So they're able to be like, hey, we'll give the athletic department this such and such amount of money, and the athletic director would be like, hey, Mike, come in, let's get you signed, let's get you situated for the long haul, so that we don't have to worry about you leaving. Kind of like Penn State's looking for that head coaching job right now, but it's kind of how I look at it too.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors that go into it for sure. And I feel like the more exposure we get to this, because again, it's kind of like NIL and the new playoff format kind of go hand in hand in the fact that it's so new that everybody's still working things out.
Oh, yeah.
Eventually, we'll get to a nice point, but I think to kind of wrap up this part of the conversation, I think that college football needs a commissioner in some way. They need some kind of legislative body because the NCAA is so weak. They don't even control the college football playoff.
No.
That is a completely separate entity. And I think that the fact that it's the Wild West. Once we get some actual governance in college football, I think things will get a lot better.
Oh, yeah.
Lee, I got a question for you. And I also want to ask the people at home, make sure to, write us, send us messages here on the show. Let us know your thoughts as we're going through our updates here. Lee, you've got Tulane ranked number 24 in the college football playoff rankings. You've got North Texas and James Madison ranked ahead of them in the AP poll, but neither of them appear on the college football playoff rankings. What do you make of this between Tulane, James Madison, North Texas? Do you have a favorite there? Do you think that there's one clear breakaway candidate? And what do you make of two teams ranked above the team that actually made the rankings, not making it themselves?
No, totally. I thought that North Texas was pulling away a little better to me at first. I do think that they don't have the attention that they deserve. Same goes for Tulane. You got to wonder if that low market school thing is a big factor in that, right? If it's who's used to getting the most attention, who we know is going to go off this year, so to speak, or maybe even who garners the most fans is an aspect. But I do think that it's more just a hype thing. You know what I mean? I think that they pick based off of player projections and sort of that thing more so than sometimes performance, especially if they undermine the person that's getting beat or that's winning. I think it just happens randomly. But I like North Texas, in the fray. I think they're doing their thing regardless.
I like them too, and I think that if North Texas doesn't get absolutely obliterated by South Florida, I think they're because they did. I think they lost. I think they lost 63 to 36. Yeah,
that was bad.
It was really bad. And if it was maybe a 10-point game, maybe they'd be the clear favorite here. But Adam, what do you make of it? I mean, Tulane's 8-2, and they're putting them above 2 9-1 teams.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of this has to hinge on the fact that I think the AAC team, the highest AAC team, will more or less make it to the playoffs as the number 12 seed as the Group of 5 champion. I mean, yeah, you got, again, North Texas. You got James Madison, who is in the Sun Belt. And you said it earlier really well. James Madison is not considered in the college football playoff as opposed to the AP Top 25. Completely separate polls. So a lot of this will hinge on whether I think, personally for me, I think the AAC champion is going to be, because you got a couple of stronger schools in there. You got Memphis, USF, Tulane, those big three, and then North Texas. I'll even throw in James Madison in the Sun Belt just for fun. But again, that's a 4-to-1 ratio right there. I mean, the AAC is clearly the stronger conference as opposed to a couple teams in the Sun Belt. So, I mean, and for some reason, no one wants to win the AAC either.
No.
Because, I mean, Memphis lost to UAB. Memphis beat USF.
It's like the circle of doom.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's working its course, man.
It really is. And I think there's a problem with this because here's the thing. The nice thing about the 12-team playoff is nobody gets to be butthurt anymore when you don't make it. You had 12 opportunities, right? Not 4, not 2. You had 12. Okay. If you didn't crack the top 12, oh well. See you later. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that there's anything wrong with rewarding teams like James Madison with the 24 spot. the 25 spot. I mean, they're 9-1, and yeah, they're in a bad conference.
Right.
You know, Sun Belt's probably the second worst conference behind Conference USA. But again,
True.
when you look at James Madison, they lost up until a few weeks ago. Louisville, even still, Louisville is still highly respected in the eyes of the committee.
Yeah.
Louisville at one point was projected, you know, as one of the favorites to win the ACC. James Madison went to Louisville week 2 and lost 28-14. That's a good loss for a Sun Belt team. And you might look at that and say, oh, that's a bad win for Louisville. No, that's a good loss for James Madison.
Oh, yeah.
They've only, and the rest of their games they've won. So of the other 9 games that they've won, they've only won by single digits once. Every other game they've won by 10 or more. Wow. And this is simply punishing teams for being in lower conferences. James Madison transitions from the FCS a few years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And so they're not even really able to join one of the big boys like the American in the group of 5. But now at this point, what are you saying about the rest of the group of 5? Because at this point, it's the P4 and the American. Oh, yeah. And if you're not in those 5, unless you're an undefeated MAC team or something, who's gonna make it? So I think it's just kind of
Toledo.
yeah. No, I mean Toledo was having some of those rankings earlier in the year, like projecting them to be, but
they actually beat Pittsburgh last year in a bowl game.
Yeah, they did. I mean, don't count out Maction. I'm telling you, Maction's a fun thing.
It is, but I don't think Toledo's having a good year this year.
Yeah, but what do you think about that, Adam? Like, should there be some kind of representation for these lower P5 conferences?
Oh yeah, and that's why they have the
5. Sorry.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's why they have the 12th spot. That represents the best of the group of 5. So in that case, I am a little, just like a tad bit surprised that James Madison is not in the college football ranking. I mean, yeah, they've won a lot of their games really well. They've blown them out. Yes, give or take, mostly group of 5 teams. But again, at the end of the day, all the group of 5 are trying to compete for that particular playoff spot. And, obviously, it's one to, a bunch of these teams. So it is a little like, not disrespectful, but they're probably a little butthurt about that.
Probably so, for sure.
I mean, that's an understatement.
Well, yeah, and I mean that's what I'm saying. You've got these teams here that are busting it the entire season, and they're doing very well. And I mean, what more can you ask James Madison to do? Maybe beat Louisville. I guess if they beat Louisville, they'd be the 12. But even still, it's, I'm not saying they need to expand it. You're completely right. They do have that extra spot there for the group of 5. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying throw them a bone, right? You don't got to put them in the playoff, but like rank them. I mean, who's really going to be crying at the end of the day that, oh, I should have gotten 24 instead of James Madison? Like, just show that we're watching and just show that we actually care and acknowledge the fact that these smaller conferences are doing well.
Boise State's probably. Oh, I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I'm pretty. Oh,
I was done. You're fine.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, but I didn't want to interrupt.
I appreciate you so much, the graciousness.
We have gracious guests on here, Lee. What can I say?
It's everything. That's how we roll.
No, who's probably crying about this? Boise State, because they're like, oh, we had Ashton Genty. He's doing, but yeah, Ashton Genty, you put the workload on him, and to be fair, they almost beat Oregon.
Yeah, last year.
That would have been a whole different story to talk about. But also, what was interesting actually last year was that Boise was number 3.
Yeah.
So it's a little strange.
Well, they had a weird format last year where it was the top 4 conference champions, and so I don't think they were ranked 3, but I think they ended up getting the 3 seed because of that kind of weird thing that they've gone away from.
It was the first year they did this format, so that is a bit different. But at the end of the day, you're going to look at this and be like, who is going to win that group of 5 ultimately? Who will be the best representative for the group of 5? And who will provide that kind of action in the playoffs? Now, I'm not going to necessarily say, it's going to be Tulane, it's going to be USF, it's going to be Memphis. It's the one that's going to win the conference championship game. And even so, they're probably going to lose in the first round. Now, I could be wrong. We've had surprises in the past. I mean, we've had Boise State beat Oklahoma back in 2007 in the Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah. It was a good team.
It was a really good team. But again, also kind of with the transfer portal, and I'll bring it back real quick. Tulane brought in Jake Retzlaff from BYU, so that also helps. So
getting those good players,
transfer portal helps both, Group of 5, Power 4.
Kind of like what Lee was saying earlier about the fact that they're going to be looking at power rankings in terms of their players and how good their recruits are and things like that. And so sometimes you might favor these teams a little more right off the bat, right off the jump, to say, well, they got a former P4 quarterback there. Let's put them high up on our watch list, and then that just kind of never goes away.
And again, a lot of it is based off of money here, because it should not be based off of players. I get, sometimes a couple players have a bad performance, like Ty Simpson, but we dropped pretty low from that. And it shouldn't just be ranked off of player individual performances alone. Now, the team as a whole is a whole different story. As we see with Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Georgia, that's why they're ranked so high. But if you look at Ole Miss, they also lost to Georgia. That was a good game. What was it? Ole Miss was number 5, Georgia number 9. But their overall performance is what should be looked at in the rankings. It should not be individualized players. Fernando, I can't speak. Fernando Mendoza. I mean, can you guys think of a time, at least as of recently, within the last few weeks, he's made a big mistake or a big error?
Penn State game, throwing that interception. Man. Almost lost them the game.
I was sounding so good. I'm kidding.
But to be fair, that's the only one I can think of. That's the only one I can think of.
But it almost cost them the game, but that catch of the year touchdown.
Yeah, he got bailed out for sure. And honestly, Fernando's been playing so good the whole year that sticks out, right? Because if you had a quarterback that was doing this on a regular basis, you'd say, oh, just take your pick. But since that's one of the only examples, I can definitely see what you're saying, that you go from Cal, you go to Indiana, you've got this great, system around you with Kurt Signetti. And now, again, you're getting hyper-analyzed, and then, he makes a bad throw, and I don't know.
I mean, again, the AP poll / college football playoff rankings, not perfect. Not perfect at all. But we look at it as, oh, wow, they lost by 3 points. They should be dropped all the way. Not always the case. Because if you see in some of these games, let's just say Georgia lost to Indiana 24-21, right? They should not be dropped all the way down to 80.
Right.
That's a little
shouldn't be
overexaggerated.
Overreacting, yeah.
But the overall team performance, keeping up with one of the top teams in the nation, is not, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I understand you're going to get dropped from a loss. That makes sense. But I can see a couple of spots, maybe 3 if there's a bad play in there.
Right.
But again, this kind of brings it back to the point, this should not be based off individualized players, like Jordan Travis, for example, because maybe they had a good backup in there. I forgot who the backup was at the time at Florida State. But again, we'll never know.
Wasn't it DJ Uyunglele? Was he the backup? Or was he somewhere?
That was the year after, I believe.
I think he was at Oregon State. Maybe?
He was at Oregon State at the time. I think he transferred over to Florida State.
He was at Clemson, then he went to Oregon State, and then Final question to wrap up our segment here, and I'm going to start with Lee, and then I'm going to go to Adam here. All right. Lee, in lower levels of college football, like the FCS, what they'll do is they'll give an automatic playoff spot to every conference champion, regardless of how good that team's or how good that conference is.
Wow.
You get an automatic spot for winning your conference. Mm-hmm. And then they'll give you at-large bids based on how you played during the season. So let's say you didn't win your conference, but you still played really well. You have a shot at that. It's very similar to what they do in March Madness for college basketball. I'm going to start with you, Lee. Do you think that college football should adopt something like that so that other teams, like the James Madisons that we're talking about here, have a shot at actually competing for a national championship?
I do, but it's at the same time, I think that the hype really does weigh down on a lot of these small markets, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I think that they go into the party, so to speak, kind of like everybody thinks we're supposed to lose, you know what I mean? And, they could boost you up and kind of power you up a little bit, but at the same time, it could create a precedented defeat, ahead of time. So I think that, the way the NCAA does kind of, I won't say bully lower market teams, but sort of exclude them, little brother them. It does affect players, associations alike, the coaches, the offensive and defensive. I think also like some probably like we got to work a little harder to be accepted into the mold, respected. Some are probably like, what's the point, right? How hard can we go? You know what I mean? So
How much more do you want from us?
exactly, it's tough.
What do you think, Adam?
What was the question?
Do you think that they should adopt every conference champion gets a spot? So expand the playoffs.
Oh, like for like
kind of like for the
9
FCS.
spots?
Yeah, so instead of having 12 teams, you have every conference champion and then however many at large.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I see what this is. Yes and no. Only because when you got 5 group of 5s, and again, I'm speaking more realistically, the CFP committee is not going to sit there and be like, oh, Tulane won. Let's bring them in. Or they're not going to, let's just say on an off year, oh, Texas State is doing well. Let's bring them in. They're going to look for the team that brings them in the most money at the end of the day. I really hate that this committee has gone this route. I mean, it has for a while now, but,
Certainly, this isn't the first we've seen a big market team. Sorry to interrupt.
No.
You're so correct. Yeah.
No, but,
it's a pattern.
and also with like Texas A&M being where they are now, they're going to get a bye too. I think they have a really good team, but, and I'll kind of just tad little nugget here. Got a couple of questions about them. Are they going to perform up to par with what we've seen during the regular season? Because here's the reason why. They were down 30-3 against South Carolina, a team that should not have even had a chance in this game. Yes, they came back 31-30, but kind of going back, Texas A&M, I mean, they haven't moved from 3 in a while. So it just, money has a lot to say in it. Obviously, the alumni base, you got all that. It's a whole different story. I don't want to repeat myself here.
Yeah.
But, again, it's kind of where we are at the moment. But ultimately, no.
Yeah, and kind of, getting back to my point earlier about we need a legislative body. The College Football Playoff Committee, I believe, is owned in part by ESPN. ESPN looks at ranking, or they look at TV ratings. And they looked last year and they saw, we let SMU in as an at-large.
Yeah.
And that game that they played against Penn State probably had the lowest viewership of anybody. Yep. And so now it's like, we're not about fairness. And I agree with you. I think if it is fairness and they do it at the lower levels and they do it in college basketball and they do it in pretty much every other team sport across the NCAA, I think they should. But at the same time, they won't because of the money.
Exactly. I mean, it's just it's a weighing scale here. So, and plus with March Madness, I mean, that's 64 teams. So you're guaranteed a few bad teams in there.
For sure.
Yeah. And so who knows, we can only really truly know about this, how accurate all of these rankings are going to be once we get to that final week, once conference champions are done, then we can take a look and say, okay, this is what we got. This is the full body of work. And even if some teams get snubbed, there's always next year, I guess.
Exactly. You always have a snub team.
We'll have to see it. We'll have to see it play out, right? When you hear DQ, you usually think Derik Queen, right? But in New Orleans, Derik Queen is on the scene, doing his thing. When we come back, we'll just get into that. How about it?
He's right there. It's the bottom of the 7th inning. The last chance to order beer. But we didn't come here to drink beer. We came here to win this ball game.
Chicago's so lucky. SportsTownChicago.com.
1, 2, 3 into the 4. Pizza at your house and you can get it at the store. Uh-oh, here we go. Chicagoland area. Little Caesars is heating up for the summer. Try our new Crazy Puffs, $3.99. Walk-in or delivery. 7 days a week. 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Filled with cheesy mozzarella, pepperoni, pizza sauce, buttery, garlic flavored drizzle, Italian herb and Parmesan seasoning, deep dish Detroit style pizza, $7.99. Super cheesy bread, $5.99. Hot and ready combo, $12.99. And for your daily deals, go to LitCaesars.com. Oh, Little Caesars with our crazy puffs and cheesy dreams. You light up my soul with your pepperoni schemes. With every slice we share, with every every moment we did in this peace of love affair. So you didn't hear that just here. You don't want to miss out on these delicious deals. Visit your Chicagoland area Little Caesars today. Cheese, cheese, cheese.
Nobody does food better than our friends south of the border. If you're looking for delicious, authentic Mexican food in Chicagoland's backyard, check out the Topos restaurant. Try their quesadillas, burritos, or my favorite, the 3-taco combo with steak and extra chipotle salsa.
Muy caliente!
Even have breakfast for early risers. Totopos is the highest rated Mexican restaurant in Naperville on Yelp. Once you try it, you'll understand why. Visit totoposnaperville.com for their menu, special offers, and online ordering on Grubhub. Pickup or delivery. Totopos Restaurant. Open nightly until 8:30. Closed on Sundays. Located next to the Jewel on Aurora Avenue in Naperville. Experience fresh, homemade Mexican at the Totopos Restaurant.
I got an affordable family-owned restaurant for you that won't cost you an arm and a lamb. It's Goodies in River Grove. My Goodies order never changes. A gyros, not a gyro. Smothered in sauce and hot fries on the side for less than $9. If I'm really starved, I'll add a chicken kebab to my order. Looking for more? Try a juicy cheeseburger, Chicago-style hot dogs, or a toasty corned beef meal. I can walk in 7 days a week, dine with my family, or call 708-583-1700. Pick it up and enjoy it at home. Can't stop in? Not a problem. Goodies delivers through Grubhub, DoorDash, and Seamless. Goodies is located at Cumberland, Belmont, River Grove. Goodies bring authentic Greek food to the Chicago.
It's the summer of coffee at Dunkin' Donuts. To reach peak summer mode, you need your summer coffee, like a smooth new s'mores frozen Dunkin' coffee, a refreshing butter pecan iced coffee, or a sweet coconut cream pie cold brew. What could be better than iced frozen coffee on a hot summer day? Nothing. Dunkin' Donuts has all your favorite flavors this summer. So come enjoy the summer of coffee and keep cool out there, kids. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer.
Looking for a great bargain? Want to find cool collectibles? Need to get fresh fruit and vegetables for the family? Come on down to Swap-O-Rama. 3 great locations, 42nd and Ashland in Chicago, Melrose Park in Ulsan, with hundreds of indoor and outdoor vendors selling clothing, tools, electronics, and much, much more. Have stuff for sale? Become a Swap-O-Rama vendor and turn your hidden treasure into cash. Visit their website for market days, hours, and vendor information. Go to swap-o-rama.com. Swap-O-Rama, the first name in flea markets.
Chicago sports for sure.
sportstalkchicago.com.
It's the summer of coffee at Dunkin' Donuts. To reach peak summer mode, you need your summer coffee. Like a smooth new s'mores frozen Dunkin' coffee, a refreshing butter pecan iced coffee, or a sweet coconut cream pie cold brew. What could be better than an iced or frozen coffee on a hot summer day? Nothing. Dunkin' Donuts has all your favorite flavors this summer. So come enjoy the summer of coffee and keep cool out there, kids. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer.
When car dealers fight for your business, you win. AutoJudo.com makes car buying fun by letting dealers compete for your business live. Real-time Auto Judo fights are the fast and easy new way to get multiple dealers' best offer on any car you want. It's free and anonymous. Only the dealer you select as the winner of your Auto Judo fight receives your contact info. You're never obligated to buy, so test drive your best deals now at AutoJudo.com. Dealers fight, you say.
Yo, 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 check it out. We got the finest pizza in all the land. Italian Fiesta is on deck, and I'm telling you, it's a hit. These pies don't miss. No matter what time you get the munchies. Pepperoni, extra cheese, turkey Italian sausage, they got all the toppings. Italian Fiesta delivers until midnight during the week and 1 a.m. on the weekends. Plus, you can use your Uber Eats or Grubhub if you got the app. And if you ain't rocking with the pizza that night, try one of their sandwiches or pasta. And they have plenty of side dishes, just like me, if you know what I mean. Hop online and go to ItalianFiesta.com or call 773-684-2222. Piece of pizza, that is.
There's only one place to watch your favorite sports team and have mouth-watering pizza. Come on down to Moretti's Pizzeria, where you can get a pizza for half the price every Tuesday. Try out our delicious varieties of pizza, sandwiches, and much more. I don't know about you, but a gooey mac and cheese pizza with a size of cheesy mozzarella sticks and watching sports sounds like paradise to me. Stop by at one of our 12 locations near you. We're open 7 days a week, anywhere from 10:30 a.m. to midnight. Visit our website, Moretti'sRestaurants.com, for delivery, catering, and even private parties. Moretti's, we bring the fun.
Did you know that Club New in Aurora is the ultimate entertainment complex? Monday nights, it's free football and darts in the sports bar. Tuesday night is league night. Join the pool and darts team. Wednesday night is ladies' night at Club New. All the ladies get in free. Gentlemen pay a $5 cover after 9 p.m. Thursday night starts the weekend off right with college flashback night. Low price drinks, retro music, and an awesome buffet. Friday and Saturday night, it's the hottest dance club in the suburbs. Club New Nightclub and Sports Bar is located at 2121 New York Street in Aurora.
You've tried the hit places, but they leave you hungry with an empty wallet. That's where Gretel comes in. They got What you really want? Visit their chic, lounge-like gastropub and try one of Chicago's top burgers, the Gretel Griddle Burger. The house-made bun and garlic aioli set this one apart from the rest. And don't miss half-price oysters, 4 to 6, Monday through Thursday. With rotating drafts, craft cocktails, and portions that don't skimp. This is one of Logan Square's best-kept secrets. Monday through Thursday, 11 to midnight. Friday and Saturday, open till 1. 2833 West Armitage. Gretel. Let's make this a night. Visit GretelChicago.com for menu and more.
All right.
I'll give you a thumbs up and we're good.
Thanks.
All right, we're good.
Cool.
Welcome back.
Yeah, man, how you doing? You good?
Hold up. Bonjour. Como estas? We're back to the Matt DonLee Sports Talk Show. I believe we're back here, right here with Matt. Matt, what's going on, baby?
Hey, man, I'm really excited to be talking about our boys down in New Orleans, Derik Queen and Zion Williamson.
Jeez, man, can you dig that? Really been acting a ham or something, huh? I saw the highlight last night. My guy sent it to me, man. And obviously, this kind of goes into you and Adam's conversation about those power rankings a little bit, a little tickle at that, because this guy did this against anyone except Nikola Jokic. It wouldn't really be noticeable that much to me right now.
Yeah.
He dropped 30 on Jokic yesterday. What do you think, brother?
He had similar stats against Portland earlier in the year, but, 26 points against Portland, people will be like, welcome to the league. Good job. You got your Portland game down. But, the fact that he's doing this stuff where he's like pulling back against Jokic, where he's driving to the rim and he's got him on him, like, who knows? Maybe it was an off night for the Joker. But I think this is a sign of things to come for Derik Queen, because when you look at the talent that New Orleans has, you got Zion, you got Jeremiah Fears and Derik Queen. All three of those guys, I think, are going to be core pieces going forward. And it's really exciting to see Queen have a breakout game against a good team.
Good deal. No, really, because I'm agree with you. Jokic possibly had something going on. Maybe it was, I ain't going to say he had the Jordan flu or anything. He probably would have played better. But it's definitely, you could tell, I don't know, the intensity wasn't there. It wasn't playoff intensity defense, but it was still noticeable nonetheless to me. Just how many times he pulled Jokic out slow and really just broke him down like a car part, broke him down like a Lego set with his kid, you know what I mean? Like those dribbles, low dribble, tween through the leg and spin slow. I think at one point they tried to double team him.
He looked methodical.
Yeah, he looked
like he was like analyzing, breaking down.
Yeah. That's really what I'm thinking about. So I'm going for it. It seems like he was really scoping the scene hard. You know what I mean? He was in the lab, and I like that. I like the way they analyzed the game. I felt like that was mentionable. That 30 points, but it just was bigger because you watched the game, watched the highlights, and none of them could really stop them. They were frustrated. You see Jamal Murray, every time they score a bucket, people are kind of giving that face. Jamal Murray's looking at Jokic. Jokic is looking at Brown like, they're like, why does this rookie keep scoring? You know what I mean? And how's he scoring in these situations?
And let me ask you this. I mean, you see this in the NFL sometimes where sometimes a rookie will burst out on the scene and defenses, if it's an offensive player, defenses won't know what to do with them.
Yeah.
And they'll just kind of cook for a little bit, and then they kind of have a bit of a sophomore slump.
Yeah.
Do you think that the NBA is going to figure out some of these Derik Queen tendencies, or do you think he's going to struggle soon because people are figuring him out, or do you think he's just going to keep growing and rolling?
Beautiful question, right? I will say it could be a little bit on either side because technically speaking, to me, I think that speed and agility are huge facets of this game. And on speed and agility, I'm not sold. Now, don't get me wrong. I only say that because of all the different competition in the league that there is. You have Jokic, who is not as agile or quick
Nonetheless, he's just as much as effective, probably more effective than a lot of them who are quicker. So it's a catch-22, honestly, because he has a similar style to Jokic. He plays slower, he plays methodical, he takes his time. If you catch him up, if you catch him up in a half spin, right, and he's jumbled up, like he does have the option to do a pass behind his. I did see something like that, the pass behind the back to a cutter, and he also did fade away on Bruce Brown and another defender, I think, Aaron Gordon.
He did,
They were double teaming him, dude. And he faded away and shot off one leg off the backboard and aimed for it.
He called bank on that one.
Yeah, he called bank. So it was like, well, I mean, you don't want to take this lightly at all. You know what I mean? For sure. I don't know how old he is. I mean, I can use a fact check on that, but
I think he's 19. I think he was a freshman at Maryland last year. I'm gonna look that up real quick. He is.
If he's 19, I'll tell you what, that'll make the question.
He's 20. He's 20. He'll turn 21 in December. So he's still a very young player, though.
For sure, because I mean that made the question a little bit easier to not dance around. No. You don't want to get over Rowdy and think he's doing all this in the first year. It can only go up, right? You think of Michael Carter Williams, and et cetera. You know, what I mean, people just went bad. But I do believe that the resiliency that he played with in that game, I will go back and see the Portland game, and of course, it's not all about stats. It's not all about numbers and whatnot. But that was very. It had leader written all over it too, young leader. So I think that's huge as well. You know, when someone has that, I use this word probably every single show. When someone has that confidence, you know what I mean, it gives consistency. Because you know what it looks like to succeed. You know what I mean? And when you see that in your head, you visualize it for yourself, it's not out of reach. And I think he's got some good confidence right now.
And you look at some of these not great organizations in the league. I think the Pelicans fall into that boat. And people will overanalyze and question their decision to trade future draft picks for Derik Queen.
No doubt.
And I think maybe that's what they're seeing is that leadership ability that you're talking about. They see that intangible that you can't always get with other high, lottery picks. It's definitely encouraging to see that that's kind of paying off a bit. And, I think we're talking about this from the perspective of we like to see good young players in the NBA doing cool things and succeeding and, going off and scoring 30 against Jokic. It's also somewhat nice to know that, the people running the show can also have an idea of what's going on and analyze the talent. And it's not always just about, all right, we got to pick a guy. Let's go with the best kid from Kentucky or whatever. He's from Maryland, right? Nice. And he did play really well at Maryland. But to see that and to see his profile and to go out and get him, I think that's really impressive on the Pelicans organization.
Indeed. A lot of teams are always kind of stuck in that phase of rebuilding sometimes, more times than not. And I can easily say a lot of teams, obviously, because you got the Celtics with 17 of those championships out there. The Lakers have, I think, 19 of them. I think the Celtics have 18 now. And then you just got scattered. After the Spurs and after the Bulls is 6, it's very scattered. You kind of don't know. Can't play it off the market for real. You know what I mean? Back then, it was like you knew either Golden State, Miami, even Cleveland was in that mix at first till LeBron went back. You kind of saw the same teams as in the same deal. Now it's very strange. You know what I mean? The Kings had a lot of potential. They still do, actually. But just, last year when you first saw that assemble, this was 2 years ago. It was a squad. De'Aaron Fox, DeMar DeRozan.
Yep.
That was ridiculous, man. Cal Kuzma was over there. Nope. Herder. Yeah. It was bad. It was bad. They were nice, man. They clicked up really well. Nice role players.
2 questions I got for you here. Yeah. One, how, now that Zion's back with the Pelicans, how does him and Queen work together to build a more successful Pelicans team? And 2, they're 2-13. I mean, is there any hope this year to see growth? I mean, they're not going to do anything, I think, in terms of playoffs, and I think we know that. But what does success look like for the Pelicans this year?
I think success is, and unfortunately, it's Zion staying healthy. I think that success is winning 40 games.
40?
40.
You think they can win 40?
and would be successful.
That would, going 82-0 would be pretty successful too, but that's not always realistic.
Good highlight.
If they can pull 2-13 into a 41 season, you know what? Give whoever replaced their coach is,
because
coach of the year.
The same case coach, it could have been the same coach, right? That happens. Nah, seriously, because I do believe that, without just talking and banter, if I could just go ahead and get a quick check.
Yeah.
Down, but I think they could win at least 35 games.
They could. It's possible if they really pull it together. I think that they could win in the 30s. They're going to need to turn it around fast, though. And I mean, games like last night where you have Queen going off for the type of game that he did. I know it's against the Nuggets, but I mean, when you look around, when you're at the bottom of the league and you look around and you're trying to look for wins, you also got to realize that other teams are looking at you as that easy win.
Yeah, you're
so you don't have any easy wins when you're at the bottom. So you might as well do it against a team like the Nuggets because, shoot, I mean, if everybody else, not everybody else has the talent that the Pelicans do, but everybody else is still able to string together more successful outings than the Pelicans so far this year. So something's got to change there.
No doubt. Real talk. I mean, I like to look at this as well. You talk about the Nuggets, right, and them losing by 7. I love to go into my point spreads and try to make some type of comparisons if it's important. So bear with me. I'm going to do it again, right? They lost by 8 to the Trailblazers at one point, lost by 8 to the Nuggets. But most of these other elite teams, Lakers, beat them by 15. Thunder, beat them by 17. Warriors, beat them by 16. The Suns beat them by 33. So these are the last. I'm not going off random scores. These are like their last few games before, in a row and stuff. So, it's funny because you see losing by 7 to the Spurs, losing by 7 to the Nuggets. Like you say, playing to that competition, losing by 2 to the Clippers. And it's a shame that you got to, kind of look over a team's losses to compare how good they are. You got to check the deficit in the lose column, but
I think it still shows a lot, though, if you're able to compete with these good teams early.
Technically.
Later on, you got potential and room to grow.
Once you tighten up on those little technicalities that probably lost you that game by 2 against the Rockets, that probably lost you that game by 7 because you could easily be losing by 3 or 4, and then here comes free throws, right? That's still a close game. A lot of these games with 8 points and whatnot, they just missed their clutch shots and fouled and probably lost. It could be a situation. So you do want to see that when they're close.
And those early games, too, they didn't have Zion.
Exactly.
So that could be a big factor as well with that.
Yeah.
To answer my question a little bit here with what success looks like, I think getting better defensively and getting a better cohesive unit together where they're able to limit this outpouring of scoring that we're seeing, and continue to build upon those tight early losses. You get those, and if you're able to incorporate Zion, I like what you said about keeping him healthy. If you're able to incorporate that, keep him healthy, but it's Zion, so who knows? But if you're able to keep him throughout the entire season, and then also, I don't want to necessarily put a win number on him, but I think if they can make it to 32 wins, I think that'll be good to pull them out. And I think we just need to see a few stretches where they can put it together. Because if you're able to kind of, win a game, lose 2, win a game, lose 2, that's a start, especially when they're on, 8-game losing streak right now, being a little bit more consistent with that and not, stringing together a win and then 2 wins and then losing your next 8, You want to make sure that you're seeing more sustained success going forward. And, it's exciting to see. And I see a lot of similarities with other teams that we watch and we root for in the sense of they're young, they've got the talent there. Let's just see what they got to go, what they have going forward, essentially.
Totally. I like the combination of their playing styles. They are the opposite. It's in terms of Zion and my guy, Derik Queen. They're the opposite because, like I say, Derik Queen plays just like Jokic. Zion is completely opposite. As soon as he catches the ball, going off the dribble quick pivot, step, shift the other way. He's looking to try to trick you, beat you with speed, and then overpower you. Try to do them all in one. Jokic is a little more graceful You won't really see him do too many bumps and chumps. He is strong. When he does bump and chump, you can't even tell he did something too big. He does something like this, and then you see the guy kind of fly over a little bit. But definitely, I like their potential because they're two rough cats, and they're getting the job done on the scoring side and cooperation side. So
now they just got to put together some wins.
You gotta love what you might see from them, right? All right.
SportsTownChicago.com.
And
yeah, it's been a roller coaster ride for the Bulls this season. None more exciting than last night's buzzer beater game winner.
How about it, right?
When we come back, Lee and I will break down how sustainable this type of winning is for the Bulls this season.
Bottom of the sports. Huge.
He's right there. It's the bottom of the 7th inning. The last chance to order beer. But we didn't come here to drink beer. We came here to win this ball game.
Chicago's so lucky.
SportsTownChicago.com.
1, 2, 3 into the 4. Pizza at your house and you can get it at the store. Uh-oh, here we go. Chicagoland area. Little Caesars is heating up for the summer. Try our new Crazy Puffs, $3.99. Walk-in or delivery. 7 days a week. 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Filled with cheesy mozzarella, pepperoni, pizza sauce, buttery, garlic flavored drizzle, Italian herb and Parmesan seasoning, deep dish Detroit style pizza, $7.99. Super cheesy bread, $5.99. Hot and ready combo, $12.99. And for your daily deals, go to LitCaesars.com. Oh, Little Caesars with our crazy puffs and cheesy dreams. You light up my soul with your pepperoni schemes. With every slice we share, with every moment we did in this piece of love affair, so you didn't hear that just here. You don't want to miss out on these delicious deals. Visit your Chicagoland area Little Caesars today. Cheese, cheese, cheese.
Nobody does food better than our friends south of the border. If you're looking for delicious, authentic Mexican food in Chicagoland's backyard, check out the Topos restaurant. Try their quesadillas, burritos, or my favorite, the 3-taco combo with steak and extra chipotle salsa.
Muy caliente.
They even have breakfast for early risers. Topos is the highest rated Mexican restaurant in Naperville on Yelp. Once you try it, you'll understand why. Visit toposnaperville.com for their menu, special offers, and online ordering on Grubhub. Pick up or delivery. Topos restaurant, open nightly until 8:30, closed on Sundays, located next to the Jewel on Aurora Avenue in Naperville. Experience fresh, homemade Mexican at the Topos restaurant.
I got an affordable family-owned restaurant for you that won't cost you an arm and a lamb. It's Goodies in River Grove. My Goodies order never changes. A gyros, not a gyro. Smother in sauce and hot fries on the side for less than $9. If I'm really starved, I'll add a chicken kebab to my order. Looking for more? Try a juicy cheeseburger, Chicago-style hot dogs, or a toasty corned beef meal. I can walk in 7 days a week, dine with my family, or call 708-583-1700. Pick it up and enjoy it at home. Can't stop in? Not a problem. Goodies delivers through Grubhub, DoorDash, and Seamless. Goodies is located at Cumberland, Belmont, River Grove. Goodies bring authentic Greek food to the Chicago.
It's the summer of coffee at Dunkin' Donuts. To reach peak summer mode, you need your summer coffee, like a smooth new s'mores frozen Dunkin' coffee, a refreshing butter pecan iced coffee, or a sweet coconut cream pie cold brew. What could be better than iced frozen coffee on a hot summer day? Nothing. Dunkin' Donuts has all your favorite flavors this summer. So come enjoy the summer of coffee and keep cool out there, kids. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer.
Looking for a great bargain? Want to find cool collectibles? Need to get fresh fruit and vegetables for the family? Come on down to Swapo Ramen. 3 great locations, 42nd and Ashland in Chicago, Melrose Park in Ulsan, with hundreds of indoor and outdoor vendors selling clothing, tools, electronics, and much, much more. Have stuff for sale? Become a Swapo Ramen vendor and turn your hidden treasure into cash. Visit their website for market days, hours, and vendor information. Go to swap-o-ramen.com. Swapo Ramen, the first name in flea markets.
He's right there. It's the bottom of the 7th inning. The last chance to order beer. But we didn't come here to drink beer. We came here to win this ball game.
Chicago's so lucky.
SportsTownChicago.com.
1, 2, 3 into the 4. Pizza at your house and you can get it at the store. Uh-oh, here we go. Chicagoland area. Little Caesars is heating up for the summer. Try our new Crazy Puffs, $3.99. Walk-in or delivery. 7 days a week. 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. filled with cheesy mozzarella, pepperoni, pizza sauce, buttery, garlic flavored drizzle, Italian herb and Parmesan seasoning, deep dish Detroit style pizza, $7.99, super cheesy bread, $5.99, hot and ready combo, $12.99, and for your daily deals, go to LitCaesars.com. Oh, Little Caesars, with our crazy puffs and cheesy dreams, you light up my soul with your pepperoni schemes. With every slice we share, with every moment we dare in this piece of love affair. So you didn't hear that just here. You don't want to miss out on these delicious deals. Visit your Chicagoland area Little Caesars today. Cheese, cheese, cheese.
Nobody does food better than our friends south of the border. If you're looking for delicious, authentic Mexican food in Chicagoland's backyard, check out the Topos restaurant. Try their quesadillas, burritos, or my favorite, the 3-taco combo with steak and extra chipotle salsa.
Muy caliente!
They even have breakfast for early risers. Topos is the highest rated Mexican restaurant in Naperville on Yelp. Once you try it, you'll understand why. Visit totoposnaperville.com for their menu, special offers, and online ordering on Grubhub. Pickup or delivery. Topos restaurant, open nightly until 8:30, closed on Sundays, located next to the Jewel on Aurora Avenue in Naperville. Experience fresh, homemade Mexican at the Topos restaurant.
I got an affordable family-owned restaurant for you that won't cost you an arm and a lamb. It's Goodies in River Grove. My Goodies order never changes. A gyros, not a gyro. Smothered in sauce and hot fries on the side for less than $9. If I'm really starved, I'll add a chicken kebab to my order. Looking for more? Try a juicy cheeseburger, Chicago-style hot dogs, or a toasty corned beef melt. I can walk in 7 days a week, dine with my family, or call 708-583-1700. Pick it up and enjoy it at home. Can't stop in? Not a problem. Goodies delivers through Grubhub, DoorDash, and Seamless. Goodies is located at Cumberland, Belmont, River Grove. Goodies bring authentic Greek food to the Chicago.
It's the summer of coffee at Dunkin' Donuts. To reach peak summer mode, you need your summer coffee, like a smooth new s'mores frozen Dunkin' coffee, a refreshing butter pecan iced coffee, or a sweet coconut cream pie cold brew. What could be better than iced frozen coffee on a hot summer day? Nothing. Dunkin' Donuts has all your favorite flavors this summer. So come enjoy the summer of coffee and keep cool out there, kids. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer.
Looking for a great bargain? Want to find cool collectibles? Need to get fresh fruit and vegetables for the family? Come on down to Swapo Ramen. 3 great locations, 42nd and Ashland in Chicago, Melrose Park in Ulsa, with hundreds of indoor and outdoor vendors selling clothing, tools, electronics, and much, much more. Have stuff for sale? Become a Swapo Rama vendor and turn your hidden treasure into cash. Visit their website for market days, hours, and vendor information. Go to swap-o-rama.com. Swapo Rama, the first name in flea markets.
Yeah, go ahead. Did you unmute it? At 9:50, I'm Matt DonLee with your sportstownchicago.com update brought to you by the Illinois Media School. If you're interested in a career in media, go to beonair.com. A heartbreaker at the United Center this evening as the Blackhawks fall in regulation to the Kraken after Jaden Schwartz netted a power play goal with under 3 minutes left in the third. Tyler Bertuzzi and Teuvo Teravainen each netted a goal in the second. After the game tonight, the Hawks hit the road for Buffalo for a 6 o'clock game tomorrow against the Sabres tomorrow night. Texans lead the Bills 23-16 with 13 minutes left in the fourth. Davis Mills fills in at quarterback for the game as C.J. Stroud is out with a concussion. Mills is 13 for 25 for 129 yards and 2 touchdowns. Josh Allen for the Bills is 16 for 21 for 129 yards and 1 interception. Wednesday's practice for the Bears saw cornerback Jalen Johnson as a full participant, up from limited yesterday. After being placed on injured reserve 2 months ago today, Johnson nears his return to the field at a crucial time for the Bears, who host the Steelers Sunday at noon. Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers saw his first action in practice this week as he was limited with a wrist injury and is still questionable for Sunday's game. After a buzzer-beater win last night in Portland, Nikola Vucevic had this to say about their win after the game.
Played great. Kobe made a great play. And I just felt confident in my shot. And glad we went in. Glad we got to win. Obviously, I wish we had the lead. We should have closed the game off sooner. But it feels great to get the game winner. These are special. You always enjoy them a lot.
That audio courtesy of Chicago Sports Network. The Bulls' next game is on the 21st tomorrow against the Heat at home at 7 o'clock. This has been your sportstownchicago.com update brought to you by the Illinois Media School. If interested in a career in media, go to beonair.com.
Played great. Kobe made a great play. I just confident in my shot, and glad we went in. Glad we got to win. Obviously, I wish we had the lead. We should have closed the game off sooner, but feels great to get the game winner. These are special. You always enjoy them a lot.
Nikola Vucevic talking after the game yesterday where the Bulls pull off an impressive, well, I don't know how impressive it was. It's the cardiac Bulls. It's the cardiac Bulls, Lee. I mean,
what you expect?
It's not sustainable, though. And that's kind of what I want to lead with here is the fact that for as nice as it is to get a win on the road and, end your road trip 2-1, they can't keep doing this. They can't keep blowing big leads and then relying on a buzzer beater shot. It's great. Clip farming. It's great engagement on the socials. It's really fun to get, a Stacey King commentator highlight.
Big time.
But come on, let's just close it out and make this a boring fourth quarter like it should be.
Yeah, I mean, Vooch has every reason to be frustrated, right? At one point led by 10 points in the game. This is a Bulls recipe. They are the cardiac Bulls. It's what they do. It's a component of a Bulls game at this point. I feel like ever since Derrick Rose left, this is what I've been used to when I sit down to watch WGN9 or Comcast Sports anytime, is that I know either A, I'm going to tune in to a really, really terrible performance. Excuse me, I love Chicago, but it's true. Or I'm going to tune into one that's starting off great. It might end up terrible, but very rarely do you get those instances where the Bulls just start off blowing someone out by 20 and just finish blowing them out by 40.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
It just doesn't happen.
And they got lucky. In all honesty, they got lucky. There were 2 big free throws missed at the end of last night's game. And if those free throws go in, the game's over. But Kobe White comes up with a clutch 3 to put the game within 1. Then they foul. Free throws made, a free throw is missed. And then we get that Vooch buzzer beater at the end of the game. And one thing, we're going to keep it brief here on the Bulls from last night just because, a lot of our listeners watch that game. They already have their own frustrations. If you have any comments, please message us.
Just send us to them.
Yeah, please message us and let us know your frustration. We are a safe place to vent about the Bulls.
No doubt.
But one thing that I want to take away that I've just seen over and over, and I watched and I kind of laughed to myself, and they said, that is classic Bulls basketball right there. They're up by 3 with 2 minutes left. Stacey King's even on there saying, you got to slow it down. You got to slow it down. What do? They take maybe 5 seconds off of the clock, and they go for a quick shot. They don't set anything up. They try and get a quick score because they think if they can score quick you should know by now in the NBA, the lead's not safe. They can turn around and hit a quick 3 just like we did. And so why on earth are you trying to get some fast points when the clock is way more valuable? That's got to come down to coaching, right?
No doubt about it. You want to kind of take advantage of the lead for sure. But I think another thing is momentum. When you are up, I don't like that when you're moving fast, like you say, coming down, rushing into a quick shot. I personally always, since a child, used to think if I was a coach or even a player in the NBA, I would suggest to the coach, hey, if we're up 8 or 9 points, I don't even believe in any quick plays. Let's just hold the ball for 17 seconds every possession.
Because why not? Hey, at least you can fall back on defense, and now they got less time.
They got less time, right? It's the same rhythm, right? Around 17 seconds, this play's about to start, or whatever. If you need extra time, hey, 15 seconds, here comes the up screen. Vucevic is coming with the screen. IOU cut. By the time we timed this out in practice perfectly. You know what I mean? So by the time you get to the 21 or 22 seconds on the shot clock, your 2 options should be there. Somebody should be popping off the back screen at the 3. The back cut should be at the rim, waiting for the pass if you stop the 3. I think that, at that point, it gets down to not even just simple time management, but you got to kind of outmaneuver, outthink the opponent. You know what I mean? And what do you think? You think Billy Donovan has some chess in him?
He's got this, right? I mean, look, I think it does fall on Billy to a large extent because, like you said, at practice, what are you doing? At this point, you should know, likely, there's a chance you're going to be leading in the fourth quarter, maybe big, and you need to preserve that lead. And you need to kill the clock, and you need to be able to efficiently score. You still need to score, but it's got to be smart and efficient. And I think it's almost like a revolving cycle that we have here with the Bulls now, almost. And I don't know how true this is. This is just me, not being an NBA coach or player or anything, but we're feeding into hero ball.
No doubt about it.
Vucci Mane has made an appearance twice. And so when we're talking about these quick shots and being kind of dumb with the ball, to be honest, late in the game, are we just trying to be a hero? Are we just trying to, put it away ourselves? Or are we not confident with the team around us that we can actually go ahead and, run a system for these final 3 minutes and put the game away?
No doubt about it. I would say this. I think that Vucci Mane is stepping up as far as like the veteran side of things. We did touch on that as far as where are you and whatnot. I like these shots and whatnot. Nonetheless, I think that also he's been in the right places on the court as well. You know what I mean? And making it easier for players to get in and get to their spot. So, that's why Dosunmu's probably been going off as well. I like what the Bulls are doing. I think they'll be fine. Definitely.
I think they will be. We'll see how they do against the Heat tomorrow. But at the end of the day, we got to put these games away. And it's early, and we still have time, and we've said that. But I don't want to be saying this in February. I do not want to be saying this in March. We need to grow past this, right? The Bulls need to be able to make it so that they can successfully close out a bad NBA team. Not to say that the Trailblazers are awful. They're fine. They beat the Thunder. But you need to be able to close out a game when you are winning dominantly, especially on the road, and do not let that crowd get back into it.
Big deal. Big deal. Totally. And, I think that new Vucic's frustration is going to stand on that this time around.
When card dealers fight for your...
And here we are.
Thank you, folks, for tuning in to tonight's show. Big appreciation to everyone for tuning in. Big thank you to Adam for joining us earlier today. Lee, I hope you have a fantastic weekend. And I hope all of you wonderful listeners at home have a fantastic weekend. We will see you again on Tuesday. Have a great rest of your night. Drive home safely.
Y'all.
We out.
Thank you. Peace.